So this video is about somatic symptoms and the comparison on the difference in help available in the UK and USA compared to here in Australia. Just because everyone knows it's not old news. Hello, it's common knowledge. Every Aussie knows we're behind the rest of the world, and that the information, everything I say, is available online. And everything I say that's happened to me, I can back it up, which I'm going to in my main video. I don't have time to sit here and do like presentations for every video, but I'm doing it for the big one. However, this one is about somatic symptoms and somatic symptoms disorder. Somatic symptoms in relation to trauma, PTSD, CPTSD. So now, what are somatic symptoms? They are the physical symptoms within the body of a condition, right, or a disorder. So, dry mouth, dizziness, headaches, stomach problems. They're all somatic symptoms of different things. So it's different to just getting sick. So these things are things that you'll have ongoing, connected to another type of like illness or disorder. And the ones common with trauma, it depends where you look up. So in Australia, there are so many things I want to cover. So first of all, I want to cover what Australia has available when you look up somatic symptoms for PTSD. Common ones: gastrointestinal, check. Body aches and pains, check. Headaches, check. Chest pain, check. Dizziness, check. Fatigue, check. Sleep disturbance, check. Okay. Fibromyalgia, check. I have not been diagnosed with that, but that's because I can't get past the front line. We're going to cover that in a sec. Nervous system disorder, which causes widespread pain across the body and other symptoms, right? So that's what's available in Australia when you look up somatic symptoms, and the help available for that is psychotherapists. When you look up somatic symptoms center to try and get help for those physical symptoms, we have trauma centers and trauma recovery centers, but they are designed for rich people who need a break from their fast, busy lives, or people who are able to get on like NDIS because they have something that's approved, which trauma is not. So people with trauma and somatic symptoms of it don't get to access those unless they have a lot of money. And they're not primarily set up for people as we need. Like, they're not like, oh, you've got trauma and somatic symptoms, come on in. It's like, no. You need a retreat. You need a rest. Come and revitalize your system, you poor thing. Or there's ones there for sensory, for, neurodivergent, and like I said, people with the NDIS access. But we don't need no centers. Let the motherfucker burn, right? So that's in Australia. Now, somatic symptoms disorder is a mental disorder when you are fixating on your physical symptoms. And the treatment for that is therapy, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Stop obsessing. This is how we're going to get you to stop obsessing. Not, oh, you've got the physical symptoms, come here and we'll help you with them. It's like, stop thinking about them. We're going to train you to block them out. Don't worry. We already know how. That's what dissociation's all about. Why do you think we do it? It's not just to block you guys out. You guys are just one factor of our dissociation. We are blocking out a lot of our pain as well. So now, somatic sensations of trauma. This is all available online. Discomfort, unease, and pain that remains in the body. If not properly addressed, somatic memories can manifest over time through digestive issues, poor posture, chronic pain, fatigue, insomnia, and other physical sensations. Prevalent symptoms in adults 10 to 25%. Fight or flight. If you actually think, okay, when someone's in fight or flight, we are turning off, certain parts of our internals that we're not using, and we're amplifying the things that we need to survive in that moment, right? So we have the sympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic, rest and digest. Sympathetic, fight or flight. So a person who doesn't have trauma is going to be sitting in rest and digest, the parasympathetic, cruising along, life's good, la-di-da. Trauma or stress activates the fight or flight response. Boom, you're in parasympathetic / fight or flight. Things turn off, bowels, bladder, peripheral, etc., and things heighten. Your heart rate and your breathing. And you are very tense. Yeah. We have cortisol pumping through us. So once the drama or the stress is over, we then switch back. There are exercises you can do to switch out of it. Because if you can imagine your system, right, it's either in rest and digest or not, or it's in fight or flight. Rest and digest, fight or flight. It's not like you can have part of it in one or the other. The whole system is a system. So if you can activate one of it, all of it will follow. So if you can get your peripheral back in, your frontal lobe back on, whatever it is, your whole system will go on. You'll start to calm down. Your cortisol will drop. Things will start to ease. It'll take time, and you'll go back into your normal state. We get stuck in a low state of the fight or flight, so we're like idling in it. So if you can imagine like a car, right? We never turn our engine off. It's sitting in park, in idle, sitting in idle, ready to go. But it's not driving. So we never switch off. Our engine never rests. It's always running hot. And those symptoms, right? That's what it says available in Australia. When you look online in America and the UK, there's information everywhere about the fact that we get tingling sensations, burning sensations, all through our nerves, and that over time we get nerve damage. And in the USA and UK, they have somatic centers for this. Now, we don't have those centers available. If you look online, they are everywhere throughout those countries. And trauma awareness for the mind-body connection is so understood, and the help is becoming more and more available to people with it. So that's not the case here, because the GPs are in charge of the front line. They dispense majority of our mental health meds. They're in charge of referrals to any specialists. So they have to understand it, believe you, and give a shit for you to get help. And the help is not there. The awareness isn't there for them because all the way up, it's not there. It's not there in the services available where there's nowhere you go is trauma informed. The authorities aren't trauma informed. Clinics aren't trauma informed. Services in the communities, in societies, in businesses, they're not trauma informed. Everywhere you go, your somatic symptoms worsen because people aren't getting it. And sensory is a big thing for it. So I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of videos, and I'm going to do one on sensory. But there are different things that set off the somatic symptoms in trauma. So every time you get triggered, people will see a reaction of anger or crying or some sort of emotional dysregulation, or they'll see you withdraw. And everywhere you go online, all the information available about the disorders is all about moods and outbursts and anger and can't keep a relationship. And there's just no speak at all about any of the physical things that go on when we're triggered. And when we feel unsafe. So for me, and I know I'm speaking for, I don't know, for everyone maybe, or at least a lot of people with the disorder, CPTSD at least, to feel safe. And if you don't feel safe, whatever that means for you, and people don't even understand that, they think, well, we're not going to rape you, we're not going to punch you. Okay, that's not just what we mean. Like, safe, that alone makes us feel unsafe because you're not getting us, not being understood. So, and if we're not feeling safe, we're already tense, which means everything's already on high alert, and we're just constantly having, everything's just heightened. That's why we're jumpy. Okay? We're not just big pussies who are scared of everything. Everything's louder, faster, brighter, and it fucking hurts. So the reason I'm wearing these two glasses is right now at the same time my puppy got desexed and isn't allowed to go on her normal walks. She's on bed rest. But also my caravan's getting fixed. So I've got my rabbits being taken care of somewhere, but the dog and I are staying somewhere. And because she's on bed rest and it's a property where there's lots of people and I've got sensory issues, we're kind of confined to my caravan and then just going out in sort of stages that her bed rest, like, sort of schedule, like, routine allows, and my sensory can, because I'm not, like, out in the bush at the moment. So I've been having sensory overload because I'm stuck in here with her. She's going nuts, I'm going nuts. And I've had burning so much that I've led to self-harm because it won't stop. And when I hit my head, it makes it stop. When people see that, because they're not trauma informed, they don't understand what's happening. They just see a psycho and think it's all psychological, and they want to stop my mood. But actually, if my sensory overload and things weren't burning and hurting me, I would be fine, because I don't have psychosis. We don't have a mental illness that makes us delusional. We have excruciating pain. And because we are so exhausted and we don't sleep and we have no emotional regulation and we're so sensitive and we're so burnt out and everything's heightened and no one understands us and we're so alone, we've got no voice, sometimes, just sometimes, we end up just wigging the fuck out. And it's only as it's been getting worse for me that I've started understanding now how other people get to the points that I've never understood before, where they're full of hate, they're bitter, they're raging, they're screaming. They just want to be left alone, like, fuck you. I've seen so many people like that, and I'm like, whoa. And I get it. It is like someone has poured petrol on you, and they're flicking little matches at you, and they're whipping you with cords that have little blades on them, and you are also like in a cycle of wind, and there's just a gazillion things shouting and banging around you, and all you want to do is just drop down and cry. You just need it to stop. It just hurts. It just hurts. It just hurts. And if you can't have the calm, the still, the quiet, eventually you become a raving lunatic. But it's actually because you guys can't see what's going on inside. And if it was external, you would see it's torture. And if you could remove that torture, we're just normal people just trying to live our lives. But because you can't see it, you think it's all psychological, and you're not helping us with it. You're just throwing pills for delusions at us. And that's not happening in the UK and the USA. They're taking people into these centers. They're looking at their nerves. They're helping them rewire. They're getting to the mind-body connection. They're getting to the core of the trauma and helping to stop the somatic symptoms, not deter your brain from thinking about it or pretend they're not there, through therapy and pills for schizophrenia and bipolar. It's why these countries laugh at our health system, and when people come over here for nursing, for locum nursing and stuff, they are so disgusted and they laugh and just go home if they get sick. Now, I'm blessed enough that my mother's British and I am a British citizen. I did a couple of years of school there, and when I was younger, and when I get my life back, I'm doing so by removing from the system. No more trying to get help from the GPs who won't believe me. I'm removing from the stimulation. I'm removing from the rejection. I'm removing from the ostracization. I'm removing from the judgment. I'm removing from the gaslighting. And I'm removing from the lack of awareness and not being understood. And rather, I'm researching in the countries who are aware, actively doing everything they can to help their people, believing their people, and treating their people. I'm connecting with nature, with animals, and I'm learning how to heal myself as best I can. When I have enough money, I'm going to get my pets taken care of. I'm going to utilize my privilege as a British citizen and go over and have a holiday over there and go to their somatic symptoms and speak to their specialists. And I'm going to come back and know how to pass that information on. If I have to go around to every single community in every single state and territory of this country myself and hand deliver the information because you guys keep trying to stop me putting out, I will. Because someone has to help our people. And to you, I'm just one little peasant loser. I'm not putting myself down and actually calling myself a peasant when I say this. When I say this, it's how you treat us. That you're all high and mighty, know better, and we're just your little peasants down here at your mercy. So, I'm going to heal myself and help the people until the Australian health system, government, legal system are trauma-informed and start taking the somatic symptoms seriously. And you want to know what, Australia? There's going to come a day when you realize how much pain people have been in for a very long time and how much you are the cause of it by denying them real help with your ignorance. I would like you to know that when you are ready, I will accept your apology and I will forgive you.